diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Come out. This is Jania Butler, and I am here with the New American Perspective. Welcome back. We are looking forward to seeing everybody this week, this Wednesday, Power Wednesday, the New American Perspective. I'm your host, Jania Butler with the most, and we have some news to talk about today. Okay, so let's get it started. Hunter Biden guilty. Hunter Biden guilty. So now the son of President Biden, Hunter Biden, has been convicted on all counts of lying on paperwork to get a gun, having an illegal gun, and while he was under the influence of drugs, ladies and gentlemen, the president's son, Hunter Biden. So now what we have is we have to talk about this big scenario about Hunter, right? So Donald Trump convicted, Hunter Biden convicted. America, where are we on this? How do we feel about this, America? President Biden went to go see his son today. He said, if you recall, and I told you that he was going to stick his foot in his mouth, but I think he knew that no man is above the law. I think President Biden said to Hunter, go ahead and take that charge. Take one for the team. You know how we do it in the hood. Go ahead and take one for the team, Hunt. And this is going to look good. You won't go to jail. It'll be on your record. But what do you need that for? You know, we're the Bidens. So they're digging a little deeper. President Biden also is going, his impeachment trial may be coming up. So he's getting closer to impeachment. Okay, but we've seen just recently he closed the border, right? So to only 2,500 people a day can come through the border. So President Biden, he closed the border for 2,500. After 2,500, they're going to do some modifications and send everybody back and say no more. So if you're in that first 2,500, I'm going back. So these people are spending their lives in this way. So then congestion price in New York. Woo, woo, woo. Congestion pricing delayed indefinitely, and power to the people. I have to shout out every time Congresswoman Nicole Malatakis. She's been on this for the people of Staten Island, the people of New Jersey, and the people of New York have won that battle. Thank you, Congresswoman Malatakis from Staten Island. I thank you dearly, because that was just going to be an extra bill. New York has to stop. New York, America has to stop eating its people. You know, I'm tired of looking across America and seeing us getting ate up by America, and then trying to be a world power and trying to feel good in America about what we're doing and where we're going, and, you know, and making America great. We all should be looking to make America great. Now, you may not be MAGA when you say that, but you all should be looking to make America great. We all, as a citizen, I am the citizen of the United States. We all, as citizens, have to do our part to make America great. And that means Black Americans as well. And we have to stop in the Black community, allowing pandering to go on in our community in this political process. It is something else. Have you guys been watching what's going on? Okay, so the other day, President Biden, since we're still on Biden, the other day, President Biden had a shindig at the White House, right? And I got something good for you here. He had a shindig at the White House. Patti LaBelle, she sang, she serenaded the crowd. They had, every Black person, every Black Democrat that you could find. They had them up there, Kamala, she had, her soul brother number one right next to her. President Biden, he's sitting there with the zombie look. He's looking around like, oh my God, like he just want to start dance, like he just want to start getting it. But they had a Juneteenth celebration. I believe it was, wasn't Juneteenth. Juneteenth is coming up. So they had a big Juneteenth celebration at the White House, pandering for votes. Now, so what I want to ask everybody that was there this time, because I ain't Black, I didn't vote for him, I ain't Black, so I didn't get invited to the Juneteenth celebration. You see how this goes, people? He was right. You ain't Black if you don't vote for me. He meant that, because in the Black community, they feel as though, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Right? Did I say that right? So that's what they feel in the Black community. Some people, don't matter how much work you did, no matter how many lives that you freed, how you built, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And who are you to make that determination the same way that who is Biden to tell me I ain't Black? But I ain't Black because I didn't get invited to the Juneteenth celebration. And I might be a little salty. I don't know. I might be a little salty. But no man is above the law, President Biden. And your son has just been found guilty. Okay. And so we have a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much going on in the news and the media. And I wanted to catch you up before I bring my fearless host, King Edwards, on board with us. Okay. So Hunter Biden guilty on all counts. Donald Trump was in Nevada over the weekend. He had a nice, turnout crowd in Nevada. So he was in Nevada. Your girl, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had to jump in there and chime in. Marjorie Taylor, she jumped in and she said, Donald Trump is like Jesus because they put Jesus in jail, hung him, persecuted him, and Donald Trump is like Jesus. So Marjorie Taylor Greene on the loose. We all are supposed to walk like Jesus and mimic Jesus. I don't know if Donald Trump's mouth goes along with where Jesus is going, but I'm going to go ahead and just report the news on Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump in Nevada. That is a swing state, ladies and gentlemen. Swing state. Nevada, we gonna need you to tune in, okay? Did you hear about Young Thug and the YSL in Georgia? Another Fannie Willis concoction. So Young Thug, who is a rapper out of Georgia, he is in jail right now and on trial. Join me, Jania Butler, for the New American Perspective every Wednesday at 12 noon for an in-depth look of education, politics, economics, and entertainment from Republican and conservative views. The first of its kind on the Millennium News 24 and the Millennium TV 24 network. We will conceptualize and debate the rights and wrongs of the society, and together we will build the new American perspective and share it with the rest of the world. You can tune in on all iOS and Android platforms. branded smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. If you're around the world, Horizon Satellite. If you're in Europe or Australia, the Sky Network. Tune in to MillenniumNews24.com or MillenniumTV24.com. All social media, Millennium News 24. We're live and have the podcast at the same time. I am a citizen, and this is our perspective. And we are back. I think I'm still alone here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? We are back here at Millennium News TV 24. I'm here. This is Jania Butler with the New American Perspective. So as I was saying, Young Thug, YSL, Fannie Willis out in Georgia. Young Thug now, his lawyer is sentenced to 20 days in jail because he questioned the judge on the trial about a secret meeting the judge had with the prosecutor, a witness, and I believe the judge, and didn't tell anyone. So the judge wanted to know who leaked the information, told Young Thug's lawyer, listen, who leaked this information? And he didn't tell. And so he's in jail with Young Thug 20 days. So I guess they're talking about the trial. Okay, let's not forget that Donald Trump said that he's going to cause revenge on people. Okay, Donald Trump is going to seek revenge. So people are a little worried about that. And the other thing about Trump that people are worried about is that the Supreme Court. So everybody is worried about the Supreme Court. Now, the democracy bit didn't work. Now it's the Supreme Court, the guilty verdict. Are you voting for a felon in November? I think this is going to be the greatest historic year. I am voting for a felon in November. And I think it's a wonderful thing. To all the black men and all the black people out there who have got these felonies. We can change America. Okay, so Donald Trump said he's going to get revenge. What do you think? Do you think that he should seek revenge? What do you think? Mark Jackson, will he be the head of the Lakers coach? Will he be the next Lakers coach? Mark Jackson. I hope so. Now, they put Mark Jackson, if you know him, he's a former Knicks player. And, he's done a lot of things, commentator. I forget the team that he used to, I forget the team that he used to coach on. But he's not, he wasn't before the person that they wanted him to be. Now, I feel like if they give him the position of the Lakers coach, then that's saying that they owe to him, because Mark Jackson is good people. He's a real brother, right? I got to play with his brother Escalade on the Hot 97 Hot Shots a year ago. Rest in peace to Mark Jackson's brother Escalade. It was a pleasure to play with him. And so now, after Escalade, we got Kathy Hochul again. So Kathy Hochul Somebody asked her at a press conference. So now, you got the lights, camera, actions at the press conference. Somebody asks her at the press conference, do you think New Yorkers, I would assume that he was kind of leaning in like this, do you think New Yorkers think that your halt on the congestion pricing wasn't politically motivated? Oops. Governor, I told you guys last week that she got a phone call from President Biden. It said, however your ring go, tweet, 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 however your ring go. Governor Hochul, and I got this on, remember last week, Governor Hochul. Yeah. I'm going to need you to halt that congestion pricing because we're going down in the polls and it looks like you might lose New York. Too late, Governor. You done called us all kinds of names. How do you call your constituents that you're supposed to represent? You're supposed to be the governor of New York. And that means that if 50% of the people are Democrats and 50% of the people are Republican, please don't go bullying and telling us that, New York is your state and y'all need to go somewhere else. We need to get you out of here, Governor. I'm sorry to say. First woman governor in New York. Trump taking revenge. How about your girl Jaguar Wright? Little hood news. Your girl Jaguar Wright then got arrested out there for for holding on to a U-Haul too long. They tracked her down. If you don't know, Jaguar Wright might be behind a lot of the stuff that has been swirling around P. Diddy. She's been telling on entertainers now for the last 3 years, and she's been vowing to get these entertainers, and these entertainers have been coming down. Now she's in the camera like this. If you know Jaguar, she's up in your camera like this, and she's vowing to get Jay-Z. So I'm not big on, cancel culture or anything like that, but I am big on telling truth and being truthful about the things that we've got going on. So in a few, what we're going to do, we're going to have King Edwards come on, and we're going to have a real conversation about pandering in politics, right? I have a problem with it because why are you pandering me for my vote? Why can't we just have a natural conversation and say, what do you want in exchange for your vote? I want my community to have good schools. I want some money to come our way for those schools. I want the businesses in the community to have strong economic sense around it. I want the dollar, like Mr. Blassingame said last week, to stay in the community for over 6 hours. I want to be able to build within my community and offer opportunities to younger people to grow and build their careers. Now, what is wrong with that? But instead, we've got to have the barbecue style concert at the White House because this is what we're paying attention to. The young thug trial is another distraction. Diddy, a distraction. So we do not pay attention to the political system. So Donald Trump does not say, so we are not talking to Donald Trump. Let me correct that. So we are not having conversations and we are not listening to Trump rallies. Instead, we've got to listen to what is happening in the YSL trial, in the Diddy situation, because that is our interest. But we've got to dig deeper, people. Our kids, our futures are involved in this political process. So I beg of you not to ignore. I beg you not to ignore it because it's not something to ignore. And this year is going to be such a historical year. It's already historical numbers. We've got one president. We've got a president who only ran 4 years. Only served 4 years. Someone else got elected. Now he's up to run another 4 years and potentially win. But he's a convicted felon. 91 indictments, more than Al Capone, the super gangster. And if you remember me from back in the day, 2018, I named Trump the gangster. I want to find a publication that shows somebody calling Trump a gangster before me. Recognize him as soon as he said hello. Oh, I'm running for office. There goes the gangster right there. So then we have on the other side of the election, we've got President Joe Biden, who is rapidly aging, who, by my eyes, he's got dementia, Alzheimer's, and that's allegedly, okay? Allegedly, I'm saying that. But there's something wrong cognitively there and mentally there. And you know what? We've got to let our people get older. So now we have the case for America. Who do we want talking to? Who do we want leading America? What do we want? Do we want all these inflation and all these excuses? I don't want it. They're talking about the Supreme Court and who's going to be on the Supreme Court if Donald Trump, he's going to put in his Republican people. Listen, Linda. I can't focus on the Supreme Court more than I can focus on the community that I need to be served that is not being served. So we've got to talk about this. So when we come back from our commercial, check us out on all mediums. When we come back, we're going to come back with King Edwards, and let's see what he's got to talk about with this. Let's see where he's at, the black man, on how the black man is being treated in America. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I am waiting for King Edwards to come in. We were waiting to go to a commercial, but I was waiting for King Edwards to come in. But we're going to talk. Let's continue to talk. Let's talk about pandering and the black vote. So I can't say that the Trump team didn't pander. I can't say that. But what I can say, because the Trump team, okay, so you got Biden and Harris, they have a classy party at the White House. You know, it was high tea. I'm sure they had a little mimosa and all of this. Trump, we outside in the dirt, in the rally. They bring out Chef G. He just broke out of jail. He's on probation. Let's make America great again. So let's look at that, right? So Trump is going after one, and this is the election process, people. This is what we've got to do the knowledge on, this election process. Trump's base is black men. Now, I told Donald Trump Jr., I did personally, and we'll bring up the pictures at some point, but I told Donald Trump Jr., I think maybe 2017, 2018, tell your father to go after the black vote. I told him that straight up, and I meant it. Tell your father to go after the black vote. So they go after the black vote, right? He says, I think we're trying to go after the black vote. I said, no, be sincere. No matter what you hear the pundits saying on the media, push forward, we will respond. It worked. Okay, so Trump is going after black men. Biden is after the black woman. But here's our thing now. Who's going to go and show up to the polls? The black men who in some states don't know if they can vote, or black women who, when we get to going, we get to going. All the women independent, put your hand up on me. Right. It's going to be the women. It's going to be the woman. So we are going to go to a commercial. And as we go to the commercial, we'll come back and we'll talk about who's going to win this election, the women or the men. Here for you. Oh, I guess they want us here. We have no commercial for you today. So that means if you don't see a commercial on here, you know what that means, people? That means we need you and your commercials. We need you to buy ad space here on Millennium TV, on the New American Perspective, so we can talk about it. So as we come back, let's think about this. Black women are going to be the vote. Black men are the Trump target. Both of them are being pandered to. Okay? So how do we come somewhere in the middle and get some respect, people? Because I think that's where, at the end of the day, that we need to be. We need to come into a solid medium, come to the truth, as we're saying, a solid medium, and then come to this truth that it is 100%, 100% this way or that way. And so Black people are not monolithic. You have people like Charlemagne the God out here, he's saying, well, I'm not voting for Biden and I'm definitely not voting for Trump. So he's trying to create this atmosphere in the middle. If you look, I find Charlemagne to be in a difficult position because he has been on the side of the Biden side. You ain't black if you ain't voting for me. So Charlemagne, he handled that decently. Whatever. But now he's starting to understand politics a little more. I heard Star from the Star Show reach out and say, who does Charlemagne the God think he is? I want to know too, Star. Because these people who don't understand politics and definitely don't understand that we need policy and the things that we need in our community, they are worried about keeping their jobs. Their democracy is them losing the power of democracy, is them not being on TV. Okay? That's what we have to look at. So pandering, is it okay for any race, right? Because they're pandering to Hispanics. Biden says on both sides. Now, what about the people who came in the country legally, right? So every Hispanic or every person that is here in this country from another country doesn't necessarily like the borders wide open, because look at what they had to go through and their family to get here. And now these people are rushing the border and they want to work. They want some of this American $1 million that they didn't heard about over here. They want to get a piece of that too. But we have no system. We have no hierarchy. The officers at the border say the border is wild. So what is it that we're going to do, people? What are we going to do here? Well, how do we look at this? How do we go forward? So let's look at the Black community. Let's take the Black community since I know it so well, right? Sexy Reds of the world. So your girl Sexy Red, she's the #1 female hip hop artist now. Your girl Sexy Red, who sold 28,000 copies, which is I'm being facetious, okay? Sexy Red, she had a baby, so she did all this stuff. She's walking around with the belly. She had a baby. She stands there like this. And this is cute. I guess that's her former, a young girl who don't know how to blow kisses, but that's Sexy Red. So all of our young women are chasing the Sexy Red approach. Sexy Red claims to be a blood of the blood gang. Sexy Red has a couple baby daddies. And then everybody gets mad because your boy, Byron Donalds, Byron Donalds says, the family was together during Jim Crow. Oh, everybody like to go up in arms and just as crazy as they want to be. Everybody, the family was together in Jim Crow, he said. Oh, he said Jim Crow was good. Now, when I say now, that's when I got to tell you the truth. Now, I don't believe that he should have mentioned Jim Crow. I don't even think that he uses the word because it may be post-traumatic stress attached to the word, Congressman Donalds. I don't think that you should have used that. And I think that where Republicans go wrong is they use these contexts and these times in history. Oh, slavery was good. What are you talking about? Listen, even if you want to put little facts on stuff, leave it out. Leave it out. And see, people want to change the narrative, and that's not okay. This is what happened in this country. A lot of the fighting with the Republicans are going because they don't want their children to know that America enslaved the very black person that's sitting next to you, that there's nothing wrong with their no less than 3/5 of man. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. And so that's where Republicans go wrong, because they don't want to tell the ugly truth. And that's where Black Americans find themselves in a bind, because if you don't want to tell the truth, then how am I rock with you? But see, where we get politics wrong is politics is not so much about what they're doing. Politics is about what you're doing. I want low taxes. I want small government. I want business entrepreneurship opportunities. The Republican Party offers that kind of blueprint, that kind of platform. I don't have to follow him over there. I can create my own faction of the Republican parties. Now we have Black Republicans. Now we've got Asian Republicans. Now we've got Indian Republicans. And everybody should have their own faction to make their way. But back to my point. Byron Donald says we're better off. The family was together during Jim Crow. Now, is that a fact or not? Now, all the other commentary, Hakeem Jeffries, again, this is all political pandering. That all the man said, and again, I don't think he should have said it. But all the man said was, the family was together, Jim Crow. And then they put in the welfare system. And what he was trying to say was they put in the welfare system to break up the family. And that has been under Democrats. Put the welfare system in, and now our family, tell the man to get out of the house, out of all these things. And so now this is where we're going with it. So the Republicans, Jim Crow. Republicans helped us get out of Jim Crow. Okay. The Democrats came, New Deal, New Deal, New Deal. This is what we'll do for you. We'll give you this amount of money. And that's what we need now. That's how we need people talking. We might not have taken that deal 50 years ago. It's not good today. That deal's no good. We need to make a new deal with America. We need to make a new deal with America. Those coming over at the border, the migrants, they're making their deal with America. Okay? We need a new deal. And we've got to make it make sense, because all of this violence in our community, We never talk about it. We shade our kids and we act like our kids have to grow up like this. And that is so untrue. Our children do not have to be ravaging anything anywhere. Our children need to be the smartest in the world. And this is what we need to tell them. If their parents need to go to school as well, we need to pull them in and come on and go. And we can go to school with you as well and teach you what you need to know as well. Because in order for America to be great, you have to get that community, my community, to be a part of it. And part of me helping the Black community move into the space of the Republican Party again, make Black Republicans again. Part of me doing that was the reasoning was to balance the floor. If the Democrats have our attention and they do nothing for us year in, year out, they do not have the formula for Black America. Let's just say that, because they haven't fixed what's going on. Our communities do not have to be violence ridden. Don't tell me that I can go over in Beverly Hills, and Beverly Hills is wild, clean, and beautiful and all this stuff. But then when I go across those train tracks with Bobby and them, then it's just erratic, because this is how these people are. No. And this is why we are in a new America and why we need a new American perspective, because that's not it. I've met our people. I've gone into the trenches with our people, into the jails, into the homeless shelter, into the drug centers. And guess what? We're all right. We're all right. We're looking for something that may be not there, but this can be turned around. Stop focusing on the people that are in these places and focus on the people, the roses who grew out the concrete. Focus on them instead of hating, because my community got a lot of hating in it, okay? Let's get real with this. Anybody that's trying to make it, they're going to get cut down by somebody else in the community. And so they get mad that everybody is getting mad that I'm trying to do something. So now you trying to fight the next man. Now you trying to take the next man out. Now you count somebody else's pocket and somebody else's money. And meanwhile, America is running off with the dream. How does that work? Where are we going with this? All this news that I told you about. All this news. In Black America, let me tell you, news in. Black America is still not in position. With the deal that came a long time ago, yeah, we get a couple of dollars for a little disability, for a little welfare, this, a little welfare, that. What about a couple $1 million? Let's pivot. Let's change our mindset. Let's change what we're talking about. There's too much sexualization in our community to our kids instead of building the lives that we want. Stop looking at somebody else's life and assuming that, oh, I can live through them. No, you can live through it. You can do it yourself. That's where we're at in the New American Perspective today. That's what we're doing today and every day. Every Wednesday, 12 noon, New American Perspective. Call in. Let's talk about this. Write me. See me on Instagram at Jania Butler. That's JINEEA BUTLER. Let's talk about this. Let's get ourselves completely together, completely on point, and focused on what we're doing for the future. This is an important election, people. I cannot be talking to you about Jaguar Right, Sexy Red, all these other things. And this election, where all these billions of dollars are going on, do we not think that's for us? I am a citizen of the United States of America. So you know what that means? I got a perspective. And that means that I've got a vote. And that means that I actually count in this country. But I got to make my vote count. Now, let me say it's not easy. It's not easy out here being a black woman. Whew. Forget about it. You got to be 10 times better than everybody else. Even your own people look at you like you crazy because you know something. What was I supposed to be doing all this time that I was working and doing this faking the funk? Most people are faking the funk. Most people haven't done the work they said that they've done. But what I want to get to right now is today, promise me something. No more crabs in the barrel. No more CP time. No more hating the person who got the same uniform on as you. Dig deep into yourself, people, because this is about self. We've got to make a decision in a few months. We got to make a decision whether we're going to go with Gangster USA or Geritol USA. Right? It's up to us. And we have to make that decision. We have to make a sound decision, people. A very, very sound decision on what we're talking about. And that's what we're going to keep talking about here at the New American Perspective. Again, I apologize for King Edwards not jumping in today, but we had a great show, didn't we, people? Every Wednesday, 12 noon, we're going to be here talking about it. And let me just go back really quick. Governor Hochul. Hi, ma'am. How are you? How stupid do you think New Yorkers are to think the congestion pricing delay was not political? Governor, thank you. Governor Hochul, I appreciate you. Didn't want to go through the congestion pricing. And let me say before we go, New York. I say America, stop eating your people. But I'm going to say New York the same thing. Mayor Adams, I saw you when you invited the migrants to New York. I saw it. I watched it. I saw you. When the migrants got here, they drained all the money out of New York. Now, granted, I'm with you. I thought that you was going to, I saw you move. I thought you was going to be able to get the money, go petition the government. They give you some money, some emergency funds. That's not in the thing. So now you know the truth about the migrants, and you owe us the right to tell us. You owe us, Mayor. I'm pointing my finger at you. You owe us to tell us what the script is. But now, since New York is hurting financially, made all these budget cuts, did all these things. Since New York has to go through all of this, now that all of this stuff is happening, the 25 per hour speed limits in New York. Come on, man. The picture taken if you go over 30. So everybody who's driving Miss Daisy in New York. Okay, maybe good. Hopefully less accidents. But that's just the fact that you pulled the police off the street, and the police are not pulling people over now. That's where that comes from, right? So you got that. Then you got the tow trucks circling the black communities. Circling the black communities where people can't pay the tickets. And then putting a boot on the car, and your boot pay, you got to pay 40%. Your boot is like $400 for them to take the boot off. So you're stealing cars. Stop eating your citizens. And then there's nowhere to park. You got these bike racks. You obviously are really trying to go green here in America. Here in New York, but we definitely have to look at all these things. So what I'm saying to New York, to anybody that's running today, stop eating your citizens, America. This is Jania Butler. This is the New American Perspective, and I am a citizen, and this is your perspective. Start spreading the news. We're here today, and I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. I think this is what has brought us all to New York. The beautiful song by Frank Sinatra, the late, great Frank Sinatra. Shout out to the Rat Pack of New York. I think they would be proud today to stand with their gangster brethren, Donald Trump, the felon, going to jail. It's a different time. It's a different time out here. So again, I am going to sign off. Join me, Jania Butler, for the New American Perspective every Wednesday at 12 noon for an in-depth look of education, politics, economics, and entertainment from Republican and conservative views. The first of its kind on the Millennium News 24 and the Millennium TV 24 network. We will conceptualize and debate the rights and wrongs of the society, and together we will build the new American perspective and share it with the rest of the world. You can tune in on all iOS and Android platforms, branded smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. If you're around the world, Horizon Satellite. If you're in Europe or Australia, the Sky Network. Tune in to Millennium